going on YouTube? This is Garrett DJ Deuce with another pickups video for you guys. Got a lot of stuff this week. 2 lots. 1 lot was from Craigslist and 1 lot was from a storage locker contact friend of mine. So just a ton of stuff, so let's get right to it. We'll start off with a pickup from GameStop. So GameStop has, like, if you buy 2 Amiibos or if you buy 2 Disney Infinity characters, you get 3 free. Same goes for Spyro characters. So I picked up Bowser and Toad, and then I got Yoshi, Pikachu, and Mario for free. I'm not really big on Amiibos, but those are excellent display pieces, so what I'll do is I'll just take them out of the packaging and then just display them throughout the Nintendo game room. So the next pickup I have for you comes from an indoor flea market, and everything you see here is either $1 or less. Some items were 25% off. So we'll start off with Tecmo Super Bowl for the Sega Genesis, and I paid 89 cents for that. I also got a copy of NFL 2K. This was 99 cents, and I believe this was 25% off as well. Got a bunch of Xbox and Xbox 360 demo discs, so I'm just going to show you what they are. I'm not going to really list off all the titles, but, I mean, this one has Hitman Blood Money in the front. SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. Black, Call of Duty 2, Halo 3, some various demo disc package. We got Fear and Tony Hawk's Project 8. So these were $1 a piece. And I have an original Xbox kiosk. That's why I pick up demo discs from. I still need the Xbox 360 kiosk. Hoping one day I'll run into that and add that to the game room. So that's that. All right, got a couple of ARC and Goodwill pickups. We'll start off with a copy of Donkey Kong Country Returns, and this is $4.99. We've got Crash of the Titans that I picked up from the Goodwill for $2.99, and this is an obscure title. This is like $20-something. It's a trip. I didn't think this was an expensive title until I looked it up. We've got Samurai Showdown Anthology, which I picked up for $4.99 at the ARC. And then the rest of these are Goodwill pickups. We got NBA Live 2000, and that was $2.99, but white was half off, so $1.50. We've got MTV Music Generator for $2.99. Dance Dance Revolution Ultra Mix 4, which was $2.99. And then finally, this is a sealed copy of Summer Athletics, The Ultimate Challenge for the PS2. And it was $1.99, but white tag, so it was only $1. Sealed PS2 games. I pick these up whenever I see them because I have the full set, but if I find sealed games for the set, I'll pick them up as well. All right, next up, there was a little thrift store in Pueblo, and it's called like the Boyer Brothers store or something like that. I go in there to buy stuff every once in a while. Their stuff is pretty much priced at or a little bit below retail. But every once in a while, I'll find some commons, and they'll give me real good deals on them. So I got a copy of Snowboarding for the PS1 and Tennis, and these are both $1 each. Also got 2 sealed PlayStation 2 games, and these were both $2.50 a piece, so $5 for both. We've got NBA 2K2, and it's factory sealed, as well as NFL 2K2, and it's factory sealed with the retail hanger in the back. So $5 for both of those. All right, I'm going to cover something non-game related, but these are really good flippers. I've noticed a lot of the Insanity, like 30-day workout programs, if you can pick those up for like $5, do it, because I've been selling those on eBay all day for like, you know, the 30-day Insanity Max, I think it's called, or whatever. Those are worth at least $40 to $50. And sometimes upwards to like $60. So also the P90X series. The P90X series are very expensive. If you can pick those up for $5-10, I suggest you do it because there's a huge profit margin for that. And of course, all those proceeds can go to buy more games. So in this case, I'm going to show you this P90X Extreme Home Fitness. I got this off of OfferUp, and I paid $10 for it. What I didn't know was that it was brand new sealed. The listing just said P90X, and I had a picture of it, but I couldn't really tell because it was a small, you know, far away shot. But like all the health books and everything are still sealed in the the shrink wrap, and then of course the P90X program itself, which is factory sealed. The reason why I say pick these up is because this right here I bought for 10 bucks, and I can go on eBay and sell it for $89.99 brand new. So huge profit margin for these. Always good to pick up non-game related items to fund your collection or fund future purchases. Excuse me. All right, so next pickup. Let's see. My friend Lauren came by and he picked up a Sega Nomad and the extra Chrono Trigger that I had he bought from me, and a JVC XI, and a bunch of other things. I gave him like my loose Halo helmet as well, because I found one in the box. And in return, he gave me a couple of games. Some were in there, some were just cases only. So very happy with what he gave me. He gave me like a stack of PS2 games that had stuff in there, had games in there. So I used those as trade bait for other things. But the stuff that I kept was a loose copy of Metal Slug 5 for the original Xbox, and Yu-Gi-Oh! The Dawn of Destiny. He also kicked down a just an empty case and manual for Mario Party 7 for the GameCube. And then all these are empty cases, but they're pretty decent cases. We got Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Miniland Mayhem, New Super Mario Brothers, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time, Backyard Basketball, Cooking Mama, Professor Layton and the Diabolical Box, Digging for Dinosaurs, Rock Band 3, The Sims 3, Treasure World, and Nintendogs Dashend and Friends. So these are all just the case and manual. But he gave them to me free. I mean, he just came over with a box of stuff and said, here you go, I don't need these anymore. All right, so next up, eBay pickup. I bought this for $8. It's Izzy's Quest for the Olympic Rings, and it's factory sealed. Been collecting a lot of Sega Genesis stuff lately. I've actually purchased a few other things this week from eBay, so I can't wait for those to come in as well, and I'll feature those in the next video. This is a pretty common title. I mean, $8 is cheap, and it's pretty much like that across the board. Some are $6 with $2 shipping or whatever, but I got this for $8 with free shipping. So it's Izzy's Quest for the Olympic Rings, factory sealed for the Sega Genesis. All right, so let's talk about a $300 lot that I picked up, and this is the first of 2 lots. This one was off of Craigslist, and there was a guy that posted a bunch of stuff, and that stuff went pretty fast. So I was pretty bummed out, and I asked him if he had any other things, and he said, yep, I got a whole bunch of other things. I haven't listed them yet, but I'll give you first dibs. So he sent me pictures of a whole bunch of stuff. There were some things that I just couldn't buy because it was way too close to retail. I mean, he had a sealed, like, Zelda Collector's Edition and a sealed Master Quest Ocarina of Time, but he just wanted way too much. I think those are averaging about, I don't know, about $80 to $100, but he wanted, like, $100. So he wanted what it was worth. So the stuff that I ended up cherry picking was stuff that I kept, and some of the stuff he underpriced, especially with some of the stuff you're about to see. There was a Virtual Boy loose that works in the lot with a bunch of games. There was a Sega Saturn with a few games and a Sega Dreamcast with a few games, but this is the stuff that I kept. So from the Virtual Boy lot, I kept V Tetris, and this is the Japanese import version, but it is complete. He also had a complete Red Alarm in the box. This is pretty pricey. I already have this, but I'm going to go ahead and keep a second copy in case anybody has a need for a complete in box Red Alarm. So he had a complete in box Warrior Land as well. I have this game too, so I'm selling the loose copies. I'm selling the loose copy of just Warrior Land. So finally have this one complete in box, and the card is in there as well. So that was part of the Virtual Boy lot. From the Dreamcast lot, I cherry picked a lot of games because the Dreamcast is my weakest collection. I don't have any desire to go for a full set unless I run into like a huge lot with a stack of games, and then maybe I can go from there. But we've got Soul Calibur, Seaman, Sega Sports Tennis 2K2, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Phantasy Star Online, Space Channel 5, and finally Sonic Adventure. There was also a Sonic Adventure 2, as well as a few other titles in that lot, which I already had. So those are going to be sold. I also kept all the VMUs. We have a white VMU, a red VMU, and a charcoal black VMU, as well as a memory card. This is a Dreamcast memory card. And I kept a red controller. So pretty happy with that. Out of the Sega Saturn lot, I only kept one game, which was Madden 98. I'm only keeping it for the case. And then there was a bunch of PS1 games, and he only wanted like 20, was it 20 or 25 bucks for that part? I mean, everything cost $300 altogether, but we broke everything down. He originally wanted $330, but the Virtual Boy didn't come with the visor, and the visor sells on eBay for like $50. So I said, dude, I didn't know that the visor didn't come with it, so, you know, can you knock some off? So he said, okay, I'll knock off 30 bucks. So I paid 300 flat. But from the PS1 stuff, I kept Jurassic Park Warpath. Been looking for this one for a while. Haven't found this one in the wild, so very glad that this was in that lot. All right, so that was that. So next up, let's cover, I guess, some dollar flea market pickups. So Saturday was pretty dead at the flea market. There wasn't very many sellers out there. I mean, there were a few things out there, like good deals and whatnot. I bought a bunch of stuff, but this is the stuff that I decided to keep, of course. So this is Pokemon Ruby version, the manual only. That was $1. These were also, these came out of a $10, it was a pink Game Boy Advance with a ton of games, so I only kept Rugrats Go Wild and Planet Monsters. All right. These were $1 a piece. There were a whole stack of them, but this is Monkey Madness Island Escape for the DS, My Amusement Park, and Reflex MX versus ATV. From a garage sale, I picked up a copy of Crash Bandicoot like Warped, and that was like 25 cents. And so this Sydney 2000 game for the Dreamcast was also 25 cents. And then there was a Game Boy Advance, like a Cobalt Game Boy Advance, that was 25 cents as well. It was just a trip. And then they threw in this Super Mario Maker manual with the pamphlet for the game. All right, so going back to the flea market, I also picked up a copy of Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriot. I think this is just a DVD. I'm not sure which bundle this came out of. So if anybody knows, please let me know. It's still factory sealed, but I paid $1 for that as well. All right, another OfferUp pickup had 18 DS and Game Boy Advance games, and she only wanted $10 for that. And then she sold a PSP model that I was looking for a very long time. I'd say 3 years. I wanted to find one at the right price in the wild. So she said, okay, I have this PSP, which is the Hannah Montana PSP. And she originally wanted $35 for this, and she said it came with a charger. However, when we met up, she said, I can't find a charger for anything like that. I was like, oh, bummer. I was like, do you even have a charge on it? And she couldn't, it doesn't turn on because the battery's dead, but it does work. But I asked her, I was like, so how much would you be willing to knock off since, there's no charger? And she said, well, I'll just charge you an even 20 for this, and then, $10 for all the games. So 30 bucks for everything. So this is the Hannah Montana PSP, and I've been looking for this one for a while. So finally glad to get a purple Hannah Montana PSP. And then here's the games that I kept out of the DS and Game Boy Advance lot. There was a ton of shovelware titles, but I kept E.T. the Extraterrestrial and Littlest Pet Shop Winter. So 30 bucks for this. All right, so finally, I was at the flea market yesterday, which was Saturday. Today's Sunday. And I saw one of my normal storage unit guys there setting up shop. And so when I saw him, he said, hey, Garrett, I've been, generating a new pile for you. He was the guy that I got the first Demon's Crest from in that lot. I don't know if you guys saw a couple of videos ago where I found 2 Demon's Crests in one weekend, which was insane. He was the guy that I got a huge amount of things from, which the first Demon Crest was in. So made a good contact. He had told me on Saturday that he had a bunch of stuff, but if I was willing to drive like an hour from where I live to his house, he would let me go through all his tubs and boxes in his backyard and let me just, pick out some stuff, fill up a tub, and then we'll go from there. So I went there, and there was some good stuff there. I mean, mostly systems. There was a couple of there was a lot of PS3 games. Like I said, if you want to see everything that was in the bundle, just stay tuned till after the video, and you'll see everything. But I paid a total of $140 for everything, and there was just a ton of systems, a ton of disc-based games. There were a few N64 carts, just a ton of stuff. So here's all the stuff that I decided to keep. So we'll start off with this Sega Saturn. He had this in a Game Gear bag, and he said this was his own personal Sega Saturn. So I'm actually going to keep this. So this one's in really clean condition. It's got all the hookups. It actually came with 2 controllers. I'm going to sell one, or I'm going to bundle one with the other Sega Saturn that I got from the $300 lot, because it didn't come with a controller. That Sega Saturn didn't come with a controller. But I'm keeping the 6-button controller and the game that was inside, which is Virtua Fighter. This is a not-for-resale version. So I'm keeping this Sega Saturn. And there were some strategy guides. One for Dragon Age Origins Awakening, Final Fantasy X, and finally, Drakengard 2. This is probably like the favorite one out of the whole pile. Big on PS2 RPGs, and to have this is awesome. Alright, so moving along to the games. So like I said, stack of N64 games, nothing too shabby. I mean, it was just all, it was primarily sports titles. So I kept South Park Chef's Love Shack. He also had in the Game Gear bag, which had the Sega Saturn in there, a couple of Game Gear games. So there's RoboCop vs. Terminator, World Series Baseball, and Mortal Kombat 2. Also, kept a copy of Bloody Roar 4 for the PS2. I'm going to use this as trade bait. I already have the set, so it is complete. So I'll see if anybody's interested in possibly trading or buying this off of me. Got 2 Wii U games. We got Scribblenauts Unmasked and Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures 2. Or Pac-Man 2 and the Ghostly Adventures. Alright, so a ton of PS3 games. These are the ones I kept. Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. We've got, was this WWE 2K15 with John Cena on the cover. We got Armored Core 5. And finally, Mortal Kombat. I bought a ton of these when GameStop was having their, I think it was was it 4 for 10 sale? So I picked up a ton of these, but they were selling for 12 to 15 bucks. So I sold all my copies, figuring that I'd probably eventually run into another one. So Mortal Kombat for the PS3. And I think that's pretty much it, guys and gals. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you want to see more videos, click the subscribe button. Other than that, hope you guys had an awesome weekend. Hope you guys found some good stuff. Happy hunting and peace.